Okay, and then I guess the next question for that would be like, how long did it take to see the drastic change from the 2 Zillow programs? Like, did it take a while, or did it happen like right away? Or where your income was just like...
Everything has happened fast. So I wouldn't say we saw it in income, because it's all compounding in a sense. But
maybe, what would you say, like...
Well, just the amount of agents we have and the amount of transactions we're doing.
True. I would say transactions.
That's how I would look at it. But they call, like, when somebody comes into town and changes things, they call that like a disruptor. So I consider myself like a disruptor. Like, even a lot of the brokerages don't like me here now, because it's like, oh, the Zillow guy or whatever. It's like, because we're doing stuff different and no one likes change. You know what I mean? So I got in at the perfect time with the online leads, and I was the first person doing it at that time, so I already knew how to work an online lead. I was really good at working an online lead, and online leads were like non-existent at that time. Very so when COVID happened, that's when everything changed.
Everybody on their phone.
Like, everything switched over. So if you wanted to look at a house, you were on Zillow. I mean, Zillow's traffic probably skyrocketed during COVID. And I remember I used my brother as an example, Devin, because Devin had his own kind of successful open house business at the time. He was a young guy, and when you're a young male, you know, you show your age a little more. So you're probably like only 22, 23 years old, and it's hard for people to relate to him at an open house, the normal buyer. So he's like, I'm just going to do them all the time. I'm going to do them Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. In his first year doing that, he made $100,000 doing that. And then he's young too, so he go on like a little hiatus. He's like, I could just come back and do this whenever I want. And then COVID happened, and that stopped it for him. You know, he's like, I can't do open houses. So the leads just got heavier and heavier, and Zillow started putting pressure on us. We're like, we need you to take more leads. We need you to take double the amount of leads. And then everyone, well, as soon as I took over the brokerage, a lot of people came over, because they're like, I want to be involved with what Ryan is doing. You know, he just keeps going up. I want to be involved in that. And then people came over, then word of mouth, and we did some campaigns. We did lead generation based recruiting at that time, just because we had so many leads. And it just has been compounding on that ever since.
Nice. No, that makes sense.
But as far as money goes, like, my most successful year that I can remember was my last year as a solo agent. That was the year I sold 78 houses that one year. 78? In 2020, I sold 78 houses.
What's the volume on that? Like the amount?
I netted about $800K that year.
You were almost a millionaire from just...
year,
That's crazy.
So in all honesty, it drastically reduced after that. And even as like...
Because your time was split to being more broker than solo agent?
So... and then it's like, okay, you got to get out of production, because you're going to help that. You got to grow the business, you know? And even doing like a listing now, if someone comes to me, like, okay, I'm going to make a certain amount of money from it, but it's the time. Time and money are like this for me now. I have to think about, so if somebody comes up with a listing, like, is it better to give it to somebody and focus on the business? So in all honesty, I made more money then.
Do you miss it? Like that, not the money, but do you miss that part of the hustle?
No, you know what?
Different?
You get on extreme highs when you are closing deals like that. Like, you know how you close a deal and the client loves you and you're giving them the keys and you're like, I'm the man. Like, I made somebody super special and all that, like doing that over and over and over. But you know what's super crazy about that?
What?
You get on such a high doing it that when it doesn't happen for a while, you get depressed. You start going through like this emotional kind of thing. So now all those levels for me.
But 78 deals in 1 year, there's like no room to have that low.
Well, then you get like extremes of it. So if I wasn't closing like 16 deals in one month. I've only closed 4 deals, you're all stressing. And that's something that happens to every agent. Even like Tony's mentioned that before. You feel like you're going out of business when you're slow. But you actually need to enjoy those times. Because you will get
live minimalistic, because that's
you
where
can blow
I feel
money
like
super quickly, and then you think you're entitled to it, you know? And then all of a sudden you're like, what do I do now?
Or that you think it lasts forever, right? Like, that's crazy.